Welcome to the video. This is the first video on the camera for this channel. We finally have a camera instead of my webcam on my computer, which is over there. Right now I'm using the camera as like a webcam, alternate camera to the webcam. So right now it's using the USB-C port on my computer, which I usually use for the mic, but right now we're using the webcam, so using that port as the webcam. So the mic isn't connected to the computer right now, so the audio quality won't be the best. I gotta figure it out if I'm gonna get like a extension on the port, so I have two USB ports for the computer, or I might just plug in the mic to the actual camera because you can do that. But it is all work in progress. If you notice around me, the walls are kind of orange and I'm kind of red. That's the best lighting we can get for this camera right now. I'm gonna try with natural lighting, but right now we're using artificial lighting, so it's doing this. It's a lot worse over on the desk, which is why we're doing it on the stovetop. That's why I have all this and everything. It's kind of weird because I'm used to like sitting down on a seat while I'm making the video, but today I'm standing, which is kind of weird. It's like I'm giving a speech. One of you guys even made a comment about how my video communication is doing a lot better than it used to be when I first started making the videos, which I have noticed. But it was nice to have a camera or a comment from one of you guys who watch this channel. You made a comment to say that. So that was really thankful, was motivating for me. But that's a part of another thing. Today we're gonna just do a quick update on my life because I know last time you guys saw me, I had a fever. And it was in the middle of a snowstorm, the worst winter storm in like I don't know if it's U.S. history, but in like the last 10 years, we ended up getting snow from in Florida because my parents were like showing me pictures of it, like huge amounts of snow in Florida and in like Georgia and Alabama and all that. You normally don't get snow or a little bit of snow, got a huge amount of snow. And it snowed here too. The only problem was I wasn't keeping up with it because I had a fever. And then I woke up the day on Wednesday. I woke up, my fever had been broken. I woke up at like 12 a.m. with like 12 blankets on me with a sweater on and socks on and sweatpants. And I was sweating so much. And I woke up and then I checked the thermometer and my fever had dropped like 3 or 4 degrees because it was at like 102 before I go to bed. And then at 12 a.m., it's 99 degrees. So my fever broke and everything. But I wake up the morning and I was going to go to work because my fever had broken and there was snow all over the cars. The road was completely iced over. And I was like, what the heck? And then I was like, oh my God, it snowed last night. And I didn't even realize. And it was a lot of snow too. It wasn't like the little bit of snow we got before, like a week or two before. It was a ton of snow. And I ended up missing that because I had a fever, which was crazy. And I really hated that. But my car, I almost got in an accident because the roads were iced over the morning of work because I ended up walking to my car, going to work and everything. And it's like a minute walk to my car and everything. And I noticed there was ice and everything. And I was like, I gotta be careful and everything. So I get in my car, and my apartment's like a minute away from the turn to the highway, and the highway is how I reach my work. I pretty much, I'm on the highway for 25 minutes, 20 minutes, and then I hit my work area or whatever. I hit the Walmart Plaza where everything is and everything. And they had ice mobiles that come over and everything, had salted the highways and the major roads, but not the back roads. Um, and I talked with this with the coworkers and everything. And so it takes about a minute of me driving to get to the highway. And there was the turn onto the highway, and I ended up braking to stop there and look to see before I turn and everything. And there were cars coming. And thankfully, I braked earlier than I was normally would do because when I was walking to my car, I was like, there's a ton of ice on the road. So, and I didn't want to slide. And so I ended up braking before the turn and everything. And I got to brake at the turn and then go when there are no more cars. Well, my car started to slide on the road while I was braking. And thankfully, I had braked early. If I hadn't braked early, then I would have hit a car because there were cars at the same time I was braking that were driving. And there was a couple of them. And so I would have hit someone. It wasn't like the road was completely empty. Thankfully, I got on the highway, didn't hit anyone or everything. I had braked early, so I didn't hit anyone. And so I was able to stop right before the turn or everything, right before the turn finally goes into the highway, which was crazy. Thankfully, I did that. And of course, I was thinking about not going to work on Wednesday. However, I had recovered from the fever a little bit. I was no longer super hot, and but I still had a headache and I still had um, hand tremors because my body was still recovering. So my hand tremors were pretty bad, and I had a headache. I still had a really bad cough last video, you guys. I know that probably sucked for you guys watching that video. I couldn't help it, but I still had that bad cough, and it was probably not till Friday or Saturday that I fully recovered where I didn't have any more headaches. And I also didn't wasn't coughing that much. I wasn't coughing at all pretty much. And my coughs are pretty much they're gone completely now that it's Tuesday and everything, and it's the day I have off. But I went to work that day and they had closed the online shopping for pickup, except only the deliveries were able to come because the roads were, even though the major highways were salted, and that stops people from sliding if they salt the ice and everything. They hadn't salted the non-main roads, so they only salted like the highways and some major roads and everything. So they closed down all the online shopping except for the delivery. But most of the delivery drivers took the day off. There was only a couple people who were still picking up deliveries. Um, and I remember my coworkers were kind of angry because ice they salted all the ice on the highways. They didn't salt the Walmart Plaza. And so the parking was really bad at the Walmart at that time. We still open, but the online shopping was closed except for the delivery drivers. But there were only like two or three delivery drivers that day, at least till like 12 or one or two. So we didn't have like any orders. So thankfully it was an easy day because I was still recovering from the fever and everything. But like I said, it took a couple days for the headaches to go away, the hand tremors to slow down, and my cough to go away. But like I said, that there hasn't been a lot recently because the last couple days, not only was I recovering from the fever, but also a lot of people called out, or more specifically, some of the people who were in the online shopping, the people in the backstage, were on vacation. So, and they didn't hire anyone, they didn't schedule anyone in the morning. So the problem is I was working the amount of work I was doing it was for two people because we had some people off, some people call out. So I was doing the two people's work, and at least in the morning. Now once 11, 12 happens, they have like 5 or 10 people all show up for the online shopping. But in the morning, we only have like 3 or 4 people until like 10 or 11, and then we get like one or two more people, and it's not till like 12 or 1 that the night people come who work till like 9 or 10 who finally show up, and they have like 5 or 10 people. And so, even though the morning shift, and this is what angers me, the morning shift has a ton of work. We always have the morning shift, half the time is busier than the shift from like 10 to 3, which is what I work really 10 to 3:30. By like 3:20 I'm leaving. But the morning shift is sometimes actually like half of the time more busy than the other shift. But they schedule a ton of people for I call it the night shift, but it's more like the midday shift to night shift. But they schedule a lot more people during that shift, and usually half the time we don't have that many orders, unfortunately, especially if it's during like a weekday. And I don't know why they do that. And so people have to end up going stalking, or we have people just sitting around or standing around, unfortunately. But that's happened, and so that's my frustration at work. But because of that, because they've had so many people call out or they took the week off or whatever, and they didn't schedule people in the morning, I've been working double the amount of work I should be doing as a person in the back, and it's already hard work. But thankfully today I had the day off. I went to like a used bookstore, bought some books, not a lot, probably like $50 worth. I think it was like $50, $60. But that I only do that like twice a month or like once a month. I do that and everything. It had been a while since I went to used bookstores, so I ended up doing that because I can get like $10 for $50 compared to 3 books max, 2 books max. If I go to Barnes and Nobles or I go to Books a Million, which I found out there's Books a Million like 15 minutes, but it's not in actual Charlotte. I have to drive up, but I'm already in the north of Charlotte, so I have to drive up to reach the Books a Millions, which I didn't go today. I went to a used bookstore and everything. But I did that today, and then I hadn't gone shopping. I was gonna do it yesterday, but it was raining really badly, and of course I had to dispense during that time, and I was like, I don't want to shop groceries and then have to move my cart out in the rain. So I was like, I'll just do it on Wednesday. Wednesdays and Mondays aren't really busy at Walmart, and I don't like to shop after work if we're super busy in the store. So if I have to shop on a Saturday, which is pretty much the busiest day of the week for us, and there's a ton of people after work, and I have to dodge people, and there's like 10 customers per aisle of stuff, I don't like doing that. So I'll probably have to shop for stuff on Wednesday. But I made some cheese grits today because I didn't have a lot of stuff, ingredients to make stuff and everything. So I made some cheese grits, which I hadn't had cheese grits in like a while. And then also I was able to squeeze out, and I had been putting it off, so I hadn't had lemonade in a while. All this lemonade juice, which was like 2 bags of lemons, which was like, I think it was like 8 lemons per bag. So I squeezed out all the lemon juice, and I wasn't gonna drink any lemonade because I made this like 2 hours ago, and I know if I drink this, my energy is gonna be really high. But the problem is I can't go to sleep on that. So I was like, I'm not gonna make lemonade today, but tomorrow I will be. And that's kind of like my health experiment for the next month is the lemonade. Um, because I'm trying to I'm trying to raise my vitamin C levels because I know my vitamin C levels are pretty low because I've never really eaten much citrus food. I haven't drank a lot of lemonade, barely any oranges. I've ate barely any oranges. I don't like orange juice, and so lemonade I can tolerate and it's pretty good. So I've squeezed out all the lemons today, but I can't have any lemonade today because otherwise my sugar will completely rise, and then I can't go to sleep for the next 2 or 3 hours, and I gotta wake up. I'm trying to wake up earlier at like 4 because sometimes I wake up at like 5, 5:30, and then I don't have anything to do before work, and so I have to do all of my stuff after work. So I'm trying to wake up earlier. I'm also trying to read like 30 minutes before work. So after this video, after I upload it, because it's about 8 o'clock. Yeah, 7:54 out of the computer over here. I gotta go to sleep and everything because I gotta wake up at 4. But I'm trying to do like 30 minutes of reading before I go to sleep, so I get more reading in. Specifically like knowledge-based books, not like fiction or anything like that. But because I know if I read fiction, this is the problem. I don't want to go to sleep because I want to see what the story ends, or I want to read another chapter because this chapter's gripped me. If you read any fiction, you know it's hard to go to sleep after you read a chapter of a book and of a story or whatever, and you're like, I need to see the end to it, and then you end up staying till 12 reading the whole book. So I can't do that and everything. But yeah, I've made some lemonade and everything. Today was like a rest day. Like I said, I traveled a little bit in Charlotte, saw some new parts of the city, went to used bookstores, bought some books and everything. I probably won't do another library tour for another 3 months. Before that, by that time, I'd probably been to the used bookstore like probably like 5 times. No, less than that. Probably like 3 times if I wait like 4 months. And so then my library will be a lot bigger. So I don't want to do another video of the library of my library over there, and then there's barely any new books added, or there's like 10 books added. I don't want to do that. So probably wait a little bit. I know I said I was going to tour the apartment with the camera, but my apartment's not completely clean. I don't want to show you guys a dirty apartment or whatever. I need to show my best self. I'm just joking. My apartment's pretty clean, but I'm still fiddling with the camera and everything. So that'll probably be next week when we do the tour of the my home. Essentially, that's really what it is. Half the time I'm saying my apartment, the other time I'm saying my home. It's kind of like there's this disconnect because I lived with my parents so long. You know, I look at my GPS, and my GPS, this place is called Welland, and then my home's still set as my parents' house and everything. Which, slowly over time, I got to get used to that, the adjustment of leaving my home and everything, and this being my new apartment. Sorry, I had to have some water. But yeah, I made some grits today, cheese grits. Best advice if you're making cheese grits, any type of grits, you want to use a lot of butter. I find if I don't use that, then the grits aren't as good. I use a lot of butter too. I think butter is probably, I love butter and everything. Plus, I think it's good for you, at least from my research. Could be wrong, but I think it's good for you. But that's my tip for you guys if you're making grits. You want to use a lot of butter. There is a problem with that. If you're using a lot of butter, grits and everything, I also use a lot of cheese too. It's a high calorie meal. What do I mean by that? This is a little bit off tangent too, but it is what it is. You guys are getting a little tip and everything. With the if you use a lot of butter, the calories for the grits are going to go up. Grits don't have a lot of calories. Let me look over here. I still have the jar I had. I used the original grits, old fashioned. But calorie wise, 1/4 of a cup is 140 calories. I use 1 cup of grits and then 4 cups of water. Um, Another tip with the grits, this is a cooking lesson while we're doing a cooking lesson. You want to use less water. So if it says 4 cups, sorry, I need more water. That's what I need. That's why I had to call. Uh, I didn't. I didn't adjust that water. I didn't drink enough water. That kind of went down the throat my wrong way. You want to use. You're making 1 cup of grits, which is what 600 calories, almost 600 calories, just the grits. Okay, use like 3 3/4 of a cup. Because, and this is, I've learned this, if you making grits, you can't take the water out if you put too much water in. What happens if you put too much water in? It makes the grits really runny, almost watery, like soup-like. But if you don't use enough water, it makes it super thick. And maybe you like super thick grits, I do. But if you use a little bit less water, you can always add that water back in. But if you put in too much water, you get soupy grits, and there's no way to fix that. There is one way to fix that is you add a lot more butter and you add a lot of cheese. But if you're making plain grits, there's nothing you can do. If you add more butter or whatever, that makes the grits thicker. Same thing with cheese. If you add the cheese, it makes it a lot thicker. Okay. So you could fix it if you add more cheese and everything, but I find it's a lot easier if you want less thick grits, you can just add a little bit more water and stir it in, okay? Until you get the right consistency for you. Some people like more soupier grits. I like thicker grits, which is why when I add cheese and butter, it makes the grits really thick because I add a ton of cheese. Butter, not as much, but I add a ton of cheese in it. And so I essentially make in one meal with these grits about 1,500 calories. And so, like I said, I would warn you, grits are a high calorie meal because the grits alone, if you're making 1 cup of grits, now you might not eat a whole cup of grits. A whole cup of grits is a lot, even for me. You might eat 1/4 of a cup of grits, and in that case, you only need 1 cup of water. So it's a 1 to 4 ratio. For every cup of grits, you do 4 cups of grits. If you're doing 1/4 a cup, like the calorie serving size is 1/4 of a cup, then you only need a cup of water. But I do a whole cup of grits, which is a lot for me. I can't imagine doing 2 cups. 2 cups is a lot. Okay. Um, 2 cups is a lot for our grits. I don't think my bowl could even my stainless steel pan could handle 2 cups of grits because that's 8 cups of water too. But that's the thing. If you add a little bit less water than the ratio says it is, you can always pour the water in. Now that's just stovetop grits. If you have the 5 minute grits, I don't use those. I've always been told by my mom who made grits those aren't good for you. Like, or not that they're not good for you, but you can mess up the grits really easily if you use 5 minute grits. Plus, they don't taste as good if you're doing stovetop, and it's really easy. Even for a beginner cook, for me, it's easy to make grits. So that's my thing: is use a little bit less water, add in more water if you want a more soupy like grits. But I mean, you don't even need to do that if you just want it less um less thick, then you can just add a little bit of water. Same thing if you add a lot of cheese and it's too thick now, just add a little bit of water. So then you can kind of personalize it to your taste. And then it's up to you and everything. But yeah, if you do it like I do 1 cup of grits. I do like probably 400 calories worth of butter, maybe a little bit more, and then a ton of cheese. Probably like a cup of cheese, maybe a little bit less, a little bit more, up to you. Depends on how much cheese you want in your grits, because you can have it like it's a light tint of cheesiness, so you only get a little bit of cheesiness, or you can pack on the cheese and it's like full on cheese is what you taste more than the grits, which is what I do. Because for me, I don't really like normal grits. You have to add either cheese and butter, or what you have to do is you have to mix it in with like eggs. That's what I did when I was a kid. But my mom would make me is I have a ton of eggs, and then I'd also have grits, and I would kind of mix it together. I haven't done that in a while. I might do. I haven't had that since I was a kid. I might try that. Usually, I have grits separate than the eggs, but I might try that. And my mom, when she did that, she just did regular grits, so it wasn't like cheese grits plus the eggs. It was just eggs and just regular grits. So I might try that. Because eggs are pretty easy to make, and then plus the thing. But that was a little bit of like some nutrition info for you guys. But yeah, the lemonade experiment is ongoing now. I'll probably oh, the cat fell off. Sorry, you guys, you heard that. I might, I'll probably have some tomorrow morning to kind of give me like a boost of energy. Because I just need to pour a little bit of lemon juice, a little bit of sugar, and a little bit of water. It's a minute to make. And of course, what I have figured out, pro tip, you don't want to do the lemon juice, add the water, and then try to add some maple syrup in and stir. The maple syrup, maybe sugar works better with this, like granulated sugar. The maple syrup will sink to the bottom, and even if you stir it, it won't get all the consistency. So what you want to do is the lemon juice, some maple syrup, then add the water. And I kind of go by like the last time I made it, I didn't use measuring cups or any of that type of stuff. You can probably do a 1-to-1 consistency, but I just try to do it by like eye level and everything. But that's my tip for that if you're making lemonade. I'm becoming an expert in lemonade, which is kind of crazy. I never thought I'd do it. Lessons learned. I never thought I'd be cooking as much. Even though I said I would, and that was one of the main goals of moving out is I was able to cook more for myself and everything. But I never figured out I'd be cooking like half the days. Like if I'm serious about cooking and I try not to eat out during the days I work and everything, I usually cook 4 days of the week, which is kind of crazy. And that's with me meal prepping and doing stuff and everything. I could be cooking every single day, and which I tried. But it's crazy for me that I'd be cooking every day. But I become an expert at lemonade, you guys. And I probably could get better lemons. I could get like organic lemons and everything and try that, or like no pesticide lemons and all that. But I'll be get better at making lemonade. I'll become a lemonade expert. Because what I found is lemon juice is too, I guess, tart, lemony for me. And so I have to add sugar. I have to add more sugar for lemonade. I don't like having a ton of lemon juice mixed in. So the thing with me is I have to balance out the lemon juice. Otherwise, I can't drink it. It's just too lemony for me. And so I have to add a lot more sugar to balance it out, which I'm using maple syrup because it's a lot better for you compared to granulated sugar or pure cane sugar and everything. Um, your body also absorbs the maple syrup better. I think an alternative is you could use pure honey, but you gotta source pure honey from a local farm. And I've gone on websites for local farms. The problem is they're out of stock because too many people want the local honey. So it's hard to right now to get local pure honey that I know is 100% honey. I could get the 100% honey stocked on the shelves and everything, but the problem is I don't know if they laced it um with syrup, high fructose syrup, and called it honey when it's not 100% honey, so they can make more profit. It's just like the olive oil industry. It's hard to tell, even if they source it right, even if you know 100%, they have a thing where you can trace the olive oil back to it. It's hard to 100% tell that you're always getting 100% olive oil. And because the profit's so high for them to switch out the olive oil with vegetable oil, your soybean oil and mix it together. And so the same thing happens with honey and everything. And so it's hard to like 100% tell. And so that's why I prefer local farmers. That's why the same thing with supplements. You want to use a third party supplement, a company that their supplements go through third party testing, like Thorn or whatever. However, it's more expensive. But the same thing with local honey. It's harder to find. You have to do a lot of shopping around, make sure, hopefully they're not out of stock like it is right now and everything. So it's a lot more work than going to the supermarket buying something that says 100% organic honey or whatever. But I think it's a worthwhile investment. Plus, you get to learn a lot too about how bees make honey and everything. And I might make a video or a trip out going to like some of the local farms around Charlotte and the honey and how they get their honey and everything. Kind of would be an amazing video. Would be a lot of work and everything, but it'd be worth it and everything. But I don't have anything else to talk about today, and I know it's been a little bit. I was trying to keep this a shorter video, but it ends up not because I always like to rant. I guess the question for you guys is, what do you guys think of the camera and everything? How clear the video is? Because I've noticed that because I'm looking at the camera, how clear the video is. I just need to get better with the lighting, so I don't have all this orangeness and everything. Um, but how did you guys like it and everything? Sorry for the unironed shirt. I just threw on a shirt because I was shirtless because I was doing my skincare and I had gotten out of the shower. So I was like, I don't want to be shirtless for the video. So I was like, I'll just put on a random shirt that's unironed for you guys and everything. But I don't have anything else. What do you guys think about my speaking ability? I guess would be the term. Like, do you think it's gotten better since my first video, or over the last couple of videos? Do you think it's been better, or is it worse? I don't know. I think I've gotten better at speaking wise through talking to a camera for an hour or 30 minutes every day, or not every day, once a week, maybe twice a week. But that's it for the video. Um, I don't really have a lot. It's still kind of weird that I'm standing up and talking to you guys like I'm giving a speech. And the camera is kind of low too, so I kind of have to. But this is the final take for the video. I knew it. See, you notice the camera flickering, like it went to like normal colors, and now it's back to this orange camera. It's because it's compensating for the like lighting. So you um, see how it like kind of went wide a little bit. But yeah, I don't have anything else to talk about. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys whenever. I try not to make promises when videos come because I know I'm half the time I don't fulfill it. Because this channel is the hobby of mine. It's not like a business for me, or I'm trying to get clicks or anything. Or I mean, it'd be great to have more subscribers, but it's not 100% everything. It's not like if I was a content creator and it was my job and my money was based on it, it'd be a completely different thing. I'd have like a schedule. I would script out videos more. I do all this different stuff. However, I can't. God, I need more water. But that's it for the video. I can't. So right now, this channel is like a hobby of mine. Maybe if I wanted to do like content creation full time, I'd probably set up a separate channel on a separate account, and do like a faceless YouTube and just talk about like history or stuff like that, or like stuff that I find interesting. I don't know how I would do the content and everything, but I try to be authentic with you guys. And sometimes there's just not much going on in my life. I'm a normal guy. Right now, I'm trying to stabilize my finances. Walmart is getting tiresome, so I probably will start looking for a job in like a month, 2 months. But that's it for the video, you guys. Thanks for watching. That was a little bit of a bloopers, a hint for the futures. I might start looking. I'll probably just start applying for more jobs in probably the next 2 months, three more months, probably higher paying but better jobs too. And we'll see what job I get and what goes. It could be completely something different from cybersecurity or finance or accounting. I could get a job that's like an executive assistant or something like that. I don't know. I'd just be applying to as many jobs as possible that get me up in my foot in the door that I think are interesting, but also have potential for a higher career. I don't want to just be like a receptionist or anything like that. I want something that gives me a like high growth, or something that I can use for my future jobs. So, something that provides me with skill. So like sales would provide me with good skills for a future job. I might never stick with sales, but it'd be a good skill to learn. So I think that's like the moment. I think that's the best thing. As long as it pays pretty well, because I need the money and everything, then and it has skills that would benefit me in my future career, then I'll probably take that job compared to Walmart where like none of this stuff is gonna matter to me. Unless I become a assistant, I gotta put this can thing up. Unless I become like assistant leader or whatever, or become a team leader at Walmart, and then I can learn leadership. But it's other than that, it's not really useful for my future career. And I got to start thinking about that because I'm already 25. No, I'm 24. Yeah, 24. I can't believe I forgot I was 24. I almost said 25. But I am 25, so I got to start thinking about that. Planning for the future is important, especially since I'm in my 20s, because I could set myself up so 5 years from now, I'm in the peak of my life, career wise, relationship wise, health wise, all that type of stuff. But I got to start putting in the work and, planning for the future. So now I'm not 30. I'm still working at Walmart as online shopping, which I don't hate the people, or I don't think it's a bad thing for people who are who are doing that, who are older than me. However, I have more ambition and I would like to go further on in my career path, career wise, because we're talking about career, we're not talking about health or wealth right now. We're just talking about career. So that's it for the video. I keep saying I'm going to end the video, but I got to end the video. I always hate ending the videos. I like to rant on, which you guys probably noticed. I probably need to stop looking at the computer. I need to look at the camera. That's the thing I need to work on. But this is a weird setup for me, like talking to a camera standing instead of sitting down. Um, of course, I've had some videos where I've done like this, like the one time I made a lasagna video, and then I was doing a video where I was going through all my books and everything, and I was over there, but I was kind of like sitting down, but I was kind of standing a little bit, but I wasn't full on standing the whole video like it is now. But that's it for the video, you guys. Thanks for watching. Any comments on the process or what you guys liked from the video? Didn't like, I think the best thing to comment on would be how do you guys think my speaking ability is now compared to my earlier videos? Have I improved? Have I gone down? Hopefully not, but I want you guys' like honest opinion for the video and everything. But that's it for the video, you guys. I'll see you guys whenever. I don't like to make promises. I've already said that. So see you guys whenever. Whenever I get the motivation, I guess would not be the motivation, but I get more content out of my life for me to make a video for you guys. Because if my life is really interesting, I'm gonna be making more videos on it compared to if my life wasn't interesting and I was just doing my normal life and normal job and everything, and then I don't have a lot to talk about. So we'll see how it goes. Thanks to you guys for watching. I'll see you guys whenever. But I gotta end the video. I gotta upload it, then gotta go to read for 30 minutes, and then go to sleep. So that's it for the video, guys. We gotta do the rest of my skincare too, because I've interrupted it with these video takes. But thanks you guys for watching. I'll see you guys whenever. Here's my thumbs up. I always give you guys thumbs up. Um, to show that you guys, I believe in you guys, that if you put your mind to it, you can do anything you want. If you work hard, I believe you'll be rewarded. And if you succeed, then that's awesome. Hopefully, I succeed. But you guys too. I hope you guys succeed too in your life and whatever your goals are. If you don't have any goals, make goals. But that's for another video. But thanks to you guys for watching. Got to end the video. Let me hit the button. I gotta stop you guys there. 3, 2, 1.